The Montreal Canadiens, Buffalo Sabres off to Game 6. Montreal has a 3-2 series lead. As far as the Vegas Golden Knights, they punched their ticket to the conference finals. They will take on the Colorado Avalanche. They win 5-1 and clinch round 2 over the Anaheim Ducks. Welcome into Puck Time, guys. Lots to talk about, lots to break down. No games tonight. That won't stop us here from showing up. Games tomorrow. Taking place, obviously, Buffalo and Montreal, and all kinds of stuff to get to. And I also have a pick for you with the World Hockey Championships. I teased it yesterday. We've got 3 or 4 games a day for the next 2 weeks in World Hockey play. There's lots to get to here, Carm. But you know I'm happy. I'm happy as a fan and happy as a bettor, as I did give out the Canadiens as a 3% money line play yesterday. Did you have any action on either game? And how about those Knights? What a convincing win to get their series clinched. I mean, Mitch Marner with a highlight goal. Great game for the Knights.
Yeah, no, it was good. 1-1 for me. The Sabres under that I took was dead within 10 minutes of the game. You know what? If I'm going to lose a game, I'd rather it not be those empty netters with like 4 or 5 seconds left, because those are the worst. I'd rather lose it in the first period. That's just the way it is. I don't want any hope that ends up dying at the end. So, and then I had the Vegas Golden Knights to close out that series, and they got it done. So a 1-1 day for me, just a little bit of juice, less than a unit, probably about a half a unit of juice loss on the day, but still a good NHL run, 10-2. But man, what a game, dude. And sorry, guys, that we're a little late to starting the show. We were booking Andrew's conference final tickets so he could go see Montreal and Carolina in the next round, because even the most diehard Sabres fan, and I'm not the diehard Sabres fan because I'm just about, does my bet win or does it not win? And that's all that really matters. Even the most diehard fan can't take anything from Game 5 and apply it to Game 6 and think, if we could just make these couple of changes, it'll be different. You know who the best goalie for the Sabres was last night, Andrew? The empty net. Because Montreal didn't score in the empty net for the last 5 minutes of the game. The empty net outperformed both Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen and Alex Lyon. Ukko's just, I don't know what's wrong with him. Same thing in the Boston series. He played a very good Game 1, and then he had a bad Game 2, and they pulled him. Against Montreal Canadiens, he plays the first game, has a very good Game 1, and Game 2, a very bad game, and they pull him. So it's Alex Lyon's game in Game 6 in Montreal. And you know the thing, Andrew, and for you guys in the chat, you're not going to believe this. I will not be watching the game. I have plans already, and the plans were there. Celebrating my wife's birthday, even though it was last week. We are away for the weekend and going to dinner, and I will not have my phone on the table. I will find out what the final score of Montreal's win is after dinner, and after dessert as well too. Don't want to ruin my meal. But
that can be so tricky, man. That can be tricky when you don't know the score of the game after. But
I don't want to know. Yeah,
it's all the same.
And we're going to the keg, right? For like steak and lobster at the keg. I don't know if they have kegs down in the US. Absolutely love it. But Andrew, they don't have TVs there. And that's good, unless you're in the bar area. And we're not sitting in the bar area. But going back to the Montreal game yesterday, you look at it. The Sabres outscored them 3-2 in the first period. But Montreal dominated the analytics. 252 to 0.54 XG just in the first period. How did the Sabres score 3 goals? Well, early on, Jakub Dobeš let in a couple soft ones, didn't look good. The rest of the way, absolutely solid. They could not solve him. 179 to 0.76 for Montreal in the second period. And then the Sabres 242 to 117 in the third period. That stands to reason. Montreal protecting the lead. Sabres getting more shots on goal. It's not indicative of how that game went. That was regardless of the fact that the Sabres had the lead at the end of the first period, that was a dominating performance by the Montreal Canadiens, and they're one game away from doing it. And I don't see how they don't get it done on Saturday, Andrew. And I think the books kind of agree on it, because look at this. This is probably the highest price we have seen in any game this series. Montreal 161, the Sabres plus 132. They are begging for Buffalo money at the moment. They are begging for Buffalo money at the moment. And even the total. They know that the Sabres goaltending right now is a shambles. Unless Alex Lyon somehow channels his inner Dominic Hasek, it's not going to make a difference. 6.5 is the total. If you can find a 6, I would grab that 6, because I don't think it's going back down to 6 from 6.5. But there are some books up on the WagerTalk live lines where you can find 6s. So I would probably grab those. What are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I mean, we keep talking about this, but it's hilarious that, it seems like goals come in bunches in this series, whether it's in the first period or whether it's a dry first period, then the second period goes bananas. Whatever it is, like, goals come in pairs, goals come, in trios. Like, it seems like we're seeing everything all together. And, the one thing you and I talked about off camera together, or off screen, is there was a moment in the game where they showed it on TV where Marty St. Louis looked over at assistant coach Trevor Letowski, and you know how, Carm, they have the earpiece in, like they're talking to the people upstairs. St. Louis said after the game that he was talking to the goalie coach, and he was asking the goalie coach, should we pull Dobish? And Marco Marciano, who they hired and promoted from the AHL club, he said, nope, he's fine. Keep him in the game. And I respect St. Louis for saying, hey, look, I'm not a goalie coach. It's not my job. I'll respect our goalie coach's decision. And pretty much after the first period, he was the better goalie. And I think that it probably helped a little bit that both UPL and Alex Lyon didn't really play that great, but both teams scored some crappy goals. Let's put it lightly. Like, I saw a lot of tweets saying it was probably the worst defensive game of the playoffs so far. And so my question remains here. We see the 5.5, and you just touched on it, of course. The 5.5 was kind of the total for most of the series so far. Now we're seeing things just look way different. A minus 160 money line and a 6.5 as the total. Whether or not they're playing into the fact that we've seen the winner of this, whoever's won these games, go crazy on the scoreboard, or empty net goals, or whatever it is. But this, to me, if there's going to be an under you take, now it's this one, because the overreaction going back to the regular season, whenever a team gave up 6 or 7 goals, I loved to take the under in the next game. One thing I worry about, though, the referee, I don't know how many penalties there were yesterday. It might have been 1 or 2 penalties in the whole game.
Yeah.
I don't know if we see that again. So we're probably going to see some power plays, but gut reaction, I'm tempted by the under. I talk a lot about the empty net goals being a worry with these closeout games, Carm. If you get back-to-back empties, that can just crush your under. But I kind of feel like this could be, because Dobish knows he didn't play that well yesterday, but he settled in and the team scored 6 goals. So I look for a bounce back out of it. But I'm going to say this before I throw it back to you, and I'm saying a lot here about the game, but I said this to you yesterday. This Canadiens team, going back to the regular season, has been a better road team than home team. So the crowd's great. The Montreal, the vibe is great. At the end of the day, though, this team has to win. This is the second straight series they have a chance to close it out in Game 6. And against Tampa Bay, they couldn't do it, man. They got to do it this time.
Yeah, it's weird, because the Sabres have done well on the road in the playoffs, but even during the regular season, they finished, even though starting dismal at the beginning of the year, they finished, I think, with the second best road record in the Eastern Conference. So it was either second or third best behind Carolina and Tampa Bay, but I think they were number 2. But it's a completely different beast. It is. I'm looking at well, that was great for the regular season and early on in the playoffs against the Boston Bruins. It's completely different in this series. They just don't look good out there. They're looking for excuses. And Andrew, one of the things that I think bothers me from like a fan base perspective or anyone watching the game is everyone is like, and it's been like this the last 2 or 3 games of this series is basically, oh, the Montreal guys are just falling over, even if a guy just coughs or sneezes on them. The referees are aware of what's going on. They have the embellishment rule if they're going to call a penalty. Stop making excuses for losing or for your team losing. And if it's the team itself that are taking that narrative, get out there and win the game on the ice.
Yeah.
That's how it happens. You know, we see it across a lot of sports, you know, where we talk about how teams how teams play as a series progresses. Montreal's done nothing wrong in this series. They've had maybe one bad game of 5. I just listen, even as a fan of the team, I just don't see how you can find any positives from game 5 in Buffalo to carry over to game 6. The positives would have been we got a 1-0 lead, we got a 2-1 lead, we got a 3-2 lead. The negatives are you blew a 1-0 lead, a 2-1 lead, and a 3-2 lead. And the minute it was tied up, that game was essentially over in my eyes. It's just Montreal was coming in waves and the Sabres weren't. So Alex Tuck, -8. Tage Thompson, -9. Those were the numbers for these guys in this series after the first period of yesterday's game. -8 and -9, 2 players who are key parts of the team. -17 combined. That is not good. That's not good.
You know, when I look at a player like Phil Deneau that Montreal had 4 or 5 years ago, a lot of people joke around that he got like a 4-year vacation in Los Angeles during the Habs rebuild, and then they trade for him to come back. And you know, he's not on the team to score goals. He is the shutdown center that's going up against Tuck and Tage Thompson and those guys.
Yeah.
And the big thing for me, Carmen, and I've been talking about this a lot, is that Suzuki and Slafkovsky and Caulfield, they weren't good during the early part of the series. And when you look at yesterday, Slafkovsky had 3 assists. Suzuki had a goal and 2 assists. Caulfield had a goal. The depth is important, but you need your top guys to be your top guys. And I feel like when you get that going from your top guys, it changes everything.
Yeah. Listen, Caulfield gets a goal yesterday. I think it wasn't a power play goal. It was a 5-on-5 goal. So maybe that sparks him as well, too. It's going to be interesting. It'll be an interesting game tomorrow, one that I'm putting my phone on silent. So in case you or Rob Braley wants to send me messages, Rob's a funny guy. Rob is sending me messages about, you know, the Sabres getting dominated by his Montreal Canadiens. But, you know, he was awfully quiet for like a couple of days when the Sabres were winning against Montreal. It's like people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. But with that said, you know, Rob's a good guy anyways. Well, I'll cut him a break. He might have been at Lord Nelson's enjoying a couple of bottles of wine when he sent that text message. I'll leave him be because I know he's listening to the show right now. But Andrew, so you're thinking under 6.5 in this game. I get it. The number is shaded to the under right now, -125. I have a feeling that the -125 will start to disappear a little bit. It'll become like maybe -115, -110 to the over. I think as the game approaches, and it's the only game left of this of the divisional finals, everything else is settled, that people are going to want to bet the favorites and the overs. They're just stuck to it. So I got a feeling some more Montreal money is going to come in, and I have a feeling at some point 6.5s are very tough. We talk about it all the time to hit, but it's one of those ones where do you play the Montreal team total instead?
Well, I like the under. So if I think Montreal is going to win, I would go Buffalo under team total. under their team total and just hope, because if you see Montreal get one or two team empty netters, then, you lose the under. But to your point, I guess, if Montreal is going to win, they're probably going to score 4 goals. And I'll tell you, during the season, that minus 150, minus 160 benchmark, that was kind of the benchmark that I used for when it was time to go away from the money line and go into the team total. So I like where your head is there with that one. Yesterday, it wasn't just one game that we liked the first period overs that hit, but both games hit the first period over. I wonder if this game starts slow. You know how game sevens, you can be tentative, you can be hesitant, you can be a little bit cautious and aware. Like even yesterday, the game didn't even start that fast. And then bang, 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 there was just a bunch of goals that happened really fast.
Yeah, I don't think, I don't think it's going to be a slow start to it. I think I would probably look at the first period over here again, and how the game settles in after that will have to be seen. But Montreal's going to come at the Sabres. The Sabres their backs are against the wall. They're going to have to come out fighting. They're going to have to try and get a lead, because if they don't get a lead and the Canadians lead after 20 minutes or get up early in that game, that Bell Center is going to be absolutely deafening. And it's just one of those ones, I don't want to equate the game 5 and 6 of this series to the Florida and Vegas Stanley Cup finals, but the Sabres almost seem like the Florida team of 3 years ago, in the sense of Vegas just beat them up in the series. And then it hit a point where there were some injuries on the team. And I'm not saying the Sabres have injuries, but Vegas wins a game and then goes to, I think it was the game went to Florida, and they just pounded them for like 7 or 8 goals. And then all the excuses came out afterwards. This guy, broken rib, this guy couldn't put his uniform on. And you hear all of that. That doesn't matter heading into this one. It just feels that way, is that, I'm not trying to mush your Montreal Canadiens, but it just feels like it's going to be a big win. It really does. If this price was lower, I would be all over this price as a minimum of 4% play and possibly a 5% play if you gave me the Montreal Canadiens at minus 135, which has been the norm in this series. Yeah. It's almost 30 cents higher, and it's going to get higher.
But to your point, the books are showing respect to here, right? The books are respecting.
Yeah, they finally are. It took them 2 series because they didn't do it against. They didn't give them respect against the Tampa Bay Lightning, and for the most part in this series, it hasn't. The prices have been pretty low in this series for the most part. That minus 125 range for the favorites, and all of a sudden we got a minus 161. Overreaction to last night's game, possibly, but books don't overreact. Bettors do. And I think the book put up a price that says, we believe Montreal is going to win this game, but we're going to make you pay a premium to bet them. Or, hey, look, we're giving you the Sabres at plus 132. They've never been this price the whole playoffs. Merry Christmas. Yeah, Merry Christmas. Yeah. And then your stocking has coal in it. No, I am not falling
look
for
what
it.
Rex is saying. So, admit it, Carm. You're trying to mush that.
There's no such thing as a mush. I don't believe in it. I joke around about it plenty of times, but I love to joke around about it. But there's no such thing as a mush. You know what I mean? Like even the football announcers with this guy hasn't missed from inside 40 yards in like his last 60 attempts, and then it gets blocked at the line or whatever. But
I used to do that when I was doing the broadcasting for university volleyball. This guy hasn't missed a serve all day, and then he misses the serve like right after I say that.
So, but yeah, I think my last thought on this one, Andrew, is that it should be a Montreal win. I think if you don't want to lay the 161, I maybe take it a step further and just take Montreal in regulation. You can drop them down to essentially, I think, like even money plus 110 likely in this game and save yourself 50 cents worth of juice. I haven't seen it. I haven't looked it up, but I will in a second, and I'll get back to it because I want to talk to you about some World Hockey Championship and my fire graphic. So here we are.
Nice.
Hockey does not end, guys. There it is. Andrew, I'm going to say this, guys, because I am not doing the World Hockey Championships. I've been working on a ton of stuff for the World Cup of soccer, which is a month away. And Andrew specializes in stuff, does fantastic in tournaments. So I know he'll probably promo his tournament package that he has up, but he's going to throw us some tidbits here. So go ahead, man. Break this one down. Denmark and Czech or Czechia. Czechia, people like to call them, but we'll call them Czech Republic.
Well, look, I mean, if we look back at the Olympics, Czech not too happy with kind of how things ended for them. But in this tournament, you don't get every single NHLer. You're not going to get all the big names. And for Czech, a little bit different for them this time around. You've got certain guys like Martin Necas that playing for Colorado right now. How can he play for Czechia if he's playing for Colorado in the NHL? So that's what you have to handicap when you look at this tournament. As far as Denmark, they've kind of stepped it up as kind of that upper mid-tier European team. They're not in that same class as, Finland or Sweden or maybe not even Czechia, but they've taken that upper step a little bit here. Known for their defense, but we have seen a lot more offense come up from them as of late. I don't usually bet the +1.5s when it comes to NHL betting. And the reason is because you're betting on a team to just lose by exactly one goal. But Carm, the fact is we're getting +110 when it comes to Denmark +1.5 goals here. I think Denmark keeps this close. They've got good goaltending. They have a good roster. They have defensive players. And as I mentioned, Czech do not have all their superstar firepowers there. I feel like this line is being put out there as if it was the all-star team for Czech, but that's just not the case. This is not the Olympics. Maybe this is what the price would be for the Olympics, but this is the World Hockey Championships. Denmark, I think a lot of their players, they're done their European seasons, and I think that's a big thing, Carm, with this tournament is that the European seasons end earlier than the NHL does. So a lot of these teams like Switzerland have almost all of their players and a lot of guys in the NHL that have already been knocked out. So I think that we look at +1.5 for Denmark at a +110 price. And I'll tell you guys, we made money with the Four Nations, the World Juniors, the Olympics. This is a fantastic deal. So in the month of May, I've earned 33 units so far. I'm on an 11-4 NHL run, altogether a +31 unit NHL run. You can get all of my World Hockey plays plus the remainder of the Stanley Cup Playoffs for $129. WT.buzz/AM. Guys, if you want more hockey picks, you want more hockey action, if the series ends on Saturday, Montreal and Buffalo, we're going to have just 2 games remaining, 1 game a day. But not for World Hockey. Like I said, 4 games a day for the next handful of days. May 15th till May 31st, World Hockey Championships. I got a play going right now as we speak on this show. I have a play going this afternoon in World Hockey. If you guys want more hockey action, that's what it is. Apparently, people have said that tournament, how do you say it, Carm? Is my Canadian accent showing? I did not know there was different ways to pronounce this word, tournament. But anyway, I'm getting some comments here about that. But this package will have the entire NHL playoffs and all of the World Hockey Championships. So if you guys want to join me on that, feel free to hop over to WT.buzz/AM. We got a top play going today. And tomorrow we got a 5% big bet with World Hockey Championships. Starts early, so make sure you guys get in. But Carm, I don't see why anybody should get, one singular play when you should probably just go ahead and get the whole package. Roy says there's an R in the world. I'm saying tournament. Are you not hearing the R? Tournament. I don't get it where people are saying that. I'm not saying, Carm, is my Canadian accent coming out here or what?
Yeah, no. Maybe Roy should record a video on linguistics and post it on the X. Tell us how you say potato, or whether it's potato or tomato, or whether it's tomato. It's like going out with my friend from the UK. I remember once he got like a flat tire, and he's like, "Can you do me a favor?" He goes, "I'm gonna pop the boot. Can you get the torch out of there?" And I'm like, "What the f?" The boot is a trunk, and a torch is a flashlight. Listen, we're in Canada. Call it a trunk and call it a flashlight. So, with that said,
The torch.
a torch. Who keeps a torch in a boot? If you're from the UK, you understand it. But then they also have. Can I say this on air? I think I can because it's a dessert. The people from Great Britain, they're a little weird at times. They have a dessert called spotted dick. That is an actual dessert. It is not a swear word. So look it up. Any of you English people, back me up in the chat. I remember going over to my buddy's place, and his wife says, "I made this for dessert. Would you guys like some?" I'm like, "No." In my head,
like, no,
I'm saying, no, thank you. But listen, people are always going to pronounce things differently. The Prez pronounces year, right? So it's everyone has a different way. So to get on somebody's case because they don't pronounce it the same way you pronounce it is a difference. Now, is that guy's name who made that comment Roy or Roy?
Yeah.
Because it's Patrick Roy, but it's spelled Roy. So which one do we have in the chat? Roy? Are you Roy or are you Roy?
Yeah. Anyway, Roy, tell us who you are. Tell us
who you are, Roy. All kidding aside, guys, grab that package from Andrew. You get a game right off the bat tonight, and then you're going to get NHL on the weekend. And then the conference finals kick off next week as well, too. The Western Conference goes on Wednesday, first game on Wednesday. And the Eastern Conference is still to be decided. If it ends, I believe, if the let me just have a look at it again. If it ends on Saturday night with Montreal winning, the Eastern Conference finals will start on Tuesday in Carolina. And if somehow the Montreal Canadiens don't win tomorrow and the series goes 7 games, then the Eastern Conference will begin on Thursday. So Wednesday, Thursday, or Tuesday, Wednesday is a scheduled slate, and you'll be getting some of those plays as well too. Andrew, final thoughts. What do you mean? That's it for you? No, it's not it for you. Final thoughts. Gun to your head, all fandom aside. If you had to pick one play that is not going to be a client play that you would tell your customers and people who are watching right now, you feel comfortable with taking in the Montreal game, what would it be? Is it a prop or is it a side or total?
I'm going to take Ivan.
I'm putting you on the hot seat right now. Sorry.
We'll try and throw in the accent here. Ivan Demidov to get a point. The guy has an unbelievable run right now. He finally got rewarded with a goal last game after he had 3 or 4 chances throughout the game. Finally gets a goal there. He's been passing the puck around. You're still getting good odds on him to get a point because he's on the second line. I think Demidov is the guy to look at for a player prop, but I do like the under a little bit in the game, Carm. But if I had one pick to give out for today's show, and it's not Suzuki, Caulfield, Slavkovsky, Hudson, I think Ivan Demidov is the guy to look for. And that's it for me. I will be in action. I'll have a package up for the Saturday games, but that's it for me, man. Colorado and Vegas next up in the West. And to be determined, hopefully next Saturday, me and Don Buster are in Montreal watching Carolina and Montreal.
Oh, 100%. You and Don Buster will be there in Montreal. I feel confident for you guys. Again, I'm not trying to mush it. I feel confident for you guys. We still have a minute left. I'm going to tell you a funny story. You know, the mush, the mush from Bronx Tale or whatever, right? So Chaz Palminteri, who plays Sonny, who I named our pet bird after a gangster. Yes. He told a story that the guy who played Mush, that was his actual name, Eddie Mush. His actual name. It wasn't the TV show name. It was Eddie Mush. So that's where the Mush came from. At his funeral, they attended his funeral when he passed away. The hearse broke down with the coffin in the back. How's that for a mush? That the vehicle transporting your body to the cemetery breaks down. That is the epitome of being a mush. The guy mushed his own thing there. But with that said, I'm going to say this: over 1.5 first period tomorrow. Tomorrow's game. Get in, get out, make your money. Montreal is going to take it to the Sabres. The Sabres are going to push back at, I believe, at some point. It wouldn't surprise me if we saw a similar first period as we saw last night in the game. Maybe not 3-2, but 2-1, even 1-1, 2-0. They all cash a ticket, and the money spends the same. Yep. So that's all I got to say. One play up for me in afternoon soccer. And it is the final weekend in Bundesliga, and I have a 5% play up in soccer Saturday morning, 9:30. So it's an early riser for you guys. 9:30 in the morning, Bundesliga, final game of their season, and I have a 5% play up, fresh off of a couple 5% soccer winners this month as well too, and 6-3 on the year with 5% soccer plays. So we'll see if we can hit another one. Andrew, what do you got going? And close us out.
Yeah, I got a play starting in a couple hours for World Hockey Championships. We're hopefully closing in on a winner right now that's currently going on. 5% World Hockey play goes on Saturday. That's early in the day, so make sure you guys get that. But don't get the one play. Get the tournament package, $129, all my NHL, all my World Hockey. And I'm sure we'll find a baseball winner throughout the weekend as well. Very low volume with baseball, but we're doing pretty good in the last couple plays on the diamond. So let's make some money here, guys. And for engagement purposes, do us a favor, guys. Comment one player you think will get a point in the game on Saturday. One player you think will get
Andrew?
A point in the game on Saturday. Carm?
I would be remiss because I said I would do it. So my apologies on waiting this late. Guys, Don Buster, one of our regular guests, has a 5% MLB play going. I know this is a hockey show, but Buster's a hockey guy, and he's had a phenomenal season in Major League Baseball. Has a 5% play up at the WagerTalk site. Head over there, and you can find it on his page at WagerTalk. Give the guy some love and support.
And, you know, he, again, hockey guy, but he has been phenomenal with his MLB, as you said, though. So, Carm, so let's make it a great day, guys. Have a great Friday. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you next time, same place, right here on Puck Time.